Oh, the Bachrabo Isai. Beautiful. We're holding on the Kuf Yud Gimel and Beis. Yesterday, we had this amazing chart. We have 3 Lois Vashel Gedi B'Chalei V'Imois in the Torah, and the Gemara narrowed down 6 limudim, made them into 3, 1, 2, and 3. But the B'Chalei V'Imoi teaches us the purples on the bottom. So we'll focus on the 3 on the top. We don't even have to focus on all 3, just number 1. The Gemara took 2 and made them 1. That Lo Yisavashel Gedi comes to say that you're not permitted to cook even the fat of the animal with milk. Fat is also a problem. Now, that's because Shmuel holds Isser Chal on Isser. You have an animal's born with chaylev. You're not allowed to eat chaylev. On top of the chaylev, we're going to make another Isser. We're going to give him a malchus a second time because he cooked it with milk. Chaylev is fat. You're not allowed to eat the fats on these animals. And if you cook the fat with milk, you get a second lashing. 2. That's only if you hold Isser Chal Isser. Ask the Gemara, B'Sav Shmuel Isser Chal Isser, does he really hold this? Shmuel Mishum Reb Elazar. Interesting, Reb Elazar is a Tana. Shmuel's an Amoira. Never really met him. But you see this a lot of times in the Gemara says, so-and-so says, a lot of times, like you see Rabbi Yochanan, I think, mentions the name of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, different, like, I don't think he met him. It says Mishum, like he heard from him. There are 2 problems in the Beis HaMikdash that could happen. If the kohen is tamei or if the food is tamei. If a kohen is tamei and he eats truma that's tar, he gets misa b'dei shamayim, death penalty. How do you know if both of them are tamei? The kohen is tamei and the food is tamei, the truma is tamei. You don't get misa. Shenemaru meisu boy kichalu. Prat lezu shemchulaz v'medes. He's mechalel the truma. He makes it. How do you say mechalel in English? He takes this piece of food and he makes it. He defiles it. He makes it not. So that's when you get the death penalty. It's already tummy. Upon him, you see from here the idea of ein isser chalal isser. Once it's already mechul, once you have the problem of tuma, your body that comes and eats that, you're not going to be over. That isser doesn't go on top of the isser of the food that's already tummy. So the Gemara says, you know what? You can look at it 3 different ways. Always, any way you want. You can say either Shmuel holds isser chalal isser, or you could hold Shmuel holds ein isser chalal isser, or you could say it's him and his Rebbe. Let's see. Typically, Shmuel holds Isser Chal Isser. So that's why in our Sugya, you have a piece of fat, you can put another Isser of Basar B'Chalav on top of it. But Truma is different. The Min Rachmanu Meisu Bai, special meat that doesn't apply over there. Next. You say more, you could say, in other words, you can't put me in a corner. There's no question here. Either Shmuel holds Isser Chal Isser, he holds Ein Isser Chal Isser. Right now, okay, he never holds Isser Chal Isser. Shani Hacha, but in our Sugya, we have Chaylev and Basar B'Chalav together. The Rabbi Rachman Gedi, you have this on the screen, you have this Gedi thing going, and therefore it's a special passage that tells us Isser Chal Isser. Okay, where? When you have Chaylev and you have Mesa, Isser Chal Isser. Third answer is the Isser Chal Isser is going to be Shmuel himself, and his Rebbe holds Ein Isser Chal Isser. Look at the pasuk. Lo Yisavashel Gedi B'Chalev Imoy. We don't know anything. Okay, we just opened up the Torah for the very first time, and we don't know. Many of us grew up with these halachas, and we're familiar with them. So we kind of know that the Isser of Basar B'Chalav is Asr, cow's milk as well. We take it for granted. But the Torah says, Gedi is a goat. What's this b'chalev imay? Can't cook a goat with his mother's milk. And what if it's not his mother? What if it's his sister? And he has two types of sisters. There's an older sister and a younger sister. What does that mean? Older sister, we're going to see, means a sister that's born in another year for Meister. Meister is like Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. She's born earlier. Or you have a younger sister in the same year. What about a cow, a goat, that's not a mother? Maybe it has to be a mother type of animal. It has to be a cow that already gave birth and is nursing because she gave birth. What about a cow that didn't give birth yet? A pregnant cow, let's say, is nursing. Is that milk usher? So we all know the answer. What's the answer? Yes. But how do we know it? So that's the sugi here. All these different things. She's not a mother yet. She has milk, but she's not a mother yet. Mao. I have to prove it. If you look at the bottom of the chart, it says the bottom right corner. We're learning from not the milk of a male. And I said over, the Gemara, a male could have milk. Look it up in Google. It's possible. So Zachar even the also Zachar, a male milk doesn't count, but this female milk, because one day she could come to being a mother, so therefore it's also for her today, Givaldik. Itmar. Hamavashal chaylev b'chalav. If you don't have the kudus, it could get confusing here. Hamavashal chalav b'chalav. Huh? Or chalav b'chalev. I don't know which one is what. Hamavashal chaylev b'chalav. If you cook the fat inside of milk, you get malchus, you don't get malchus. What could the machlokes be? If you cook milk together with fat. So based on what we just learned, it's easy. What's machlokes? Could you add one isser on top of another isser? Chaylev comes first. An animal's born with fat. It's also for you to eat. Now you take the fat, you add milk to it. It's already also. It's like eating, putting cheese on a cheeseburger, on a burger, which is already treif. You over another isser. One on top. On top of treif. Over here, you already have chaylev. It's also for you to eat. And you're putting milk on top of it. Lema, perhaps, the one that says you get malchus is because you could do two Easter. You get an additional Easter of basar b'chalav. And the other one maybe holds that's why you don't get malchus for the basar b'chalav. No raya. The kuli am Eisachal Achila the kuli am lepligi. Certainly you don't get malchus on eating it. Why? There's no basar b'chalav here. Why is there no basar b'chalav? Because chaylev comes first. Kipliga bishul. You hear this? It's a very interesting question. Maybe you could get a malchus for cooking. Why? Mando amar loika chadisuro. There's only one isser going on over here. Mando amar loika lachi apker rachmona lachila v'loshem bishul. What does that mean? I want to give this guy malchus for cooking. He didn't eat this product, so he wasn't over on chaylev and he wasn't over on basar b'chalav. But he did something else. He cooked it. Cooking alone is also like the video with the guy cooking in the garbage can. That itself is also cooking the two products together. You get an isser. But here's the question. It's a very gishmaki question. Could you be over on bishul, on cooking, when you can't be over on eating? You have a product here, the fat. It's fat. It's also for you to eat. Then you add milk to it. You can add milk to it. It's already offered. So the question is, if you can't be over on eating basar b'chalav, could you be over on cooking basar b'chalav? Interesting shayla. So one man says, yeah, why not? It's there. You cook basar b'chalav. Why not? The Torah called it Eli Stefansky 3 times, even though one of them means eating. If you don't get malchus for eating it, so you don't get malchus for cooking it. Or you could go the other way. Everything is like, you can go in different directions here. We can't be put in a corner. Of course, you get malchus for cooking it. Why? Because you just cooked two things that are also to cook together, basar and challah. But the machlokes is on eating. You don't get a second malchus because you can't put a second isra on top of an original isra. And this mother says no. Since you're over on cooking, so you're over also on eating. One mother says you get malchus. Why? Because you cooked. The other mother says you don't get malchus because he's talking about eating, and there's no malchus on eating. Meisvei. What is it called? That milk on top, that water on top of the milk. Whey. Here we go. Whey. So that water on the bottom, Rabbi say, here in Israel, when you open up a leban, I haven't done it in a while, you open up any yogurt, you'll see that a little bit of water on top. Is that water considered milk or not? Huh? Milk or not? What do you say? It's not milk. Hamavashal b'mei cholav potter. You're not over if you cook with that. Dam shebishlu b'cholav, and if you cook blood with milk, potter. Blood is not meat, so you potter. Ha'atzamois v'hagidim v'hakarnayim v'hatlafayim. We have bones, sinews, horns, hooves. Shebishlu b'cholav, potter. We said even if you eat a bone of a lion, you're not over on treif. Well, I'm not talking about the bone marrow or anything like that. It's the actual bone that's like wood. All this stuff is not considered a gdi. It's not considered basar. Potter. So what do you see over here? The fact that that's tamais v'agidon kanayim l'fayim shebishnu b'cholav potter. Hapigul v'hanoisar. Oh, so here's the question. Hapigul v'hanoisar v'hatomei. So these are things that we've learned in Zvachim, and whoever's with us in Zvachim, it's not a problem. Pigul is very simple. A kohen who's shechting an animal in the Beis Hamikdash, and he wants to get the owner. He doesn't like the owner that brought the animal, so he thinks in his mind, just a thought. He thinks he's going to eat this animal in 3 days from now instead of in 1 day, 2 days. He thinks in 3 days. He ruined the animal, and if he eats it, he's chayav kares. So now this meat is no good. This carbon is no good. It's pigul. It's noisar. It's left over. You have an animal you're supposed to eat for 2 days, it's left over in the fridge on the 3rd day. Not tummy and the tummy animal. So now the question is, this animal is also, what do you do with it? Are you chayiv on basar b'cholav? Chayiv. You are chayiv on basar b'cholav. The question is why? The meat is also for you to eat. It's pigul. It's noisar. How are you going to eat it? It's also, if you eat it, you get kares. So how can you put another isra on top of it called basar b'cholav? So what if you cook it with milk? It's already also from before. So what do you see? That isur chalal isur. Says Gemara, you're right. Not a right from there. Great. I'm a vasher b'mei cholav potter. The other was paying attention. Bisnan mei cholav arein k'cholav. This halach that we just learned, that this water that comes, the whey that separates from the milk, it has the halacha of milk. And the water, the liquid that comes out of olives, it has halacha like oil. Amar Shlokish argues. He says, Lo Shanu, or explains, Lo Shanu, El Hafshir says, right. We have the concept called Mukhshul Kabul Tuma. What is that muslig? Without showing the whole video, just like the first frame. Here. In order for any fruit or food stuff to become tamei, they have to be mukhshul. You have to... Susceptible. No, there's a better word. Activate. Huh? Activate? Okay, we'll take the word. This is probably a better word. Okay, activate is not a bad word. The Omer Shlokish Leishon Hachshir says Roim Avleim Bishul Bas V'Chalav Mechalav Ein K'Chalav. Yes, this water stuff. Here, let's show the water again. This stuff at the end of the video, in 19 hours, whatever it is, that water, that whey, is considered like milk for the halacha of Mukhshul Kabul Tumah. in order to make something, to activate the food so that it can become tameh, you have to spray it in some liquid, one of the 7 liquids. One of the 7 liquids is milk. There's milk, honey, dew, wine, blood. So milk also includes the whey, but not for bishul. It's not enough milk for it to be chayiv if you cook it with meat. All right, what I'm trying to say here is that we're going to do this sugya kind of 3 times, and it's the same idea. It's very different than usual, not very, but we're going to say a Kal V'chomer, and the Kal V'chomer is going to be great, and then Gemara, right after we finish the Kal V'chomer, it's great, the Gemara brings a pasuk. And then the Gemara says, but you just said a Kal V'chomer, why do you need a pasuk? Oh, because I forgot. Kal V'chomer is no good. And we're going to do this 3 times in a row. Here's number 1. Says the Gemara, B'chalei v'imoy. Eli elo b'chalei v'imoy. B'chalei para v'rachum minayin. How do I know that the milk of other animals besides a goat, such as a cow and a sheep, are also a problem for basar b'chala? I'm just Kal V'chomer, the cute story, smacking a little story. Okay, you know what? Let's just do the Kal V'chomer. I'll tell you the story in a second. I'm just Kal V'chomer, u'ma'imoy shloi nesra imoy b'harba. There's no issur to have the mother and the son have relations. There's no issur between a mother and a son when it comes to an animal. You as the owner, you don't have no issur with it. Yet you're not allowed to cook the milk of the mother with the son. You're not allowed to put the cow together with a goat. So certainly you shouldn't be able to cook with the milk of a cow together with the goat. You hear this Kal V'chomer? Again, a mother and a son, they don't have the Isra Harba, yet there's the Isra Basar B'chala. So a cow that has the Isra Harba with a goat, certainly you shouldn't be able to cook it. So we have a Kal V'chomer that tells us that what? That it's also to eat Basar B'chala with a cow. It's not just the goat. And then the Gemara says, Talmud Loima b'chalei v'imoy. I have a pasuk. B'chalei v'imoy comes to include other animals. As the Gemara understand, v'lama likro. You just finished saying Kal V'chomer. It's perfect. Hasilai. We have a Kal V'chomer. Omer Rav Ashi, I'll tell you why, because the Kal V'chomer is no good. I could ask a question on the beginning of the Kal V'chomer. Rashi says the difference between the beginning of the Kal V'chomer and the end of the Kal V'chomer. What's your whole Kal V'chomer? Mi'imoy. You brought a Kal V'chomer from the mother. You know, a mother has a churma, but also it has a kula, but it has a churma that what? That you cannot shech the mother and a son in the same day. We had a whole perek earlier in the Masechta that talks about Oisev's B'nai. So therefore, that's why you can't cook the mother and the son. Partially, that's remember shchita, but you're allowed to shech a cow and a goat. They don't have that issur. That's why Talmud Loima b'chalei v'imoy. So because your whole Kal V'chomer falls off because the mother has a certain chumrah. That's why I need a pasuk. Tan Yidduch. Now we're going to do the same thing again on another halacha. So we're doing Kal V'chomer, the same kind of interesting. We're going to finish the Kal V'chomer, and then we're going to say, oh, we have a pasuk, and then Gemara says, so why do you need a pasuk? You have a Kal V'chomer because the Kal V'chomer is no good. But we're learning a different halacha. So we know that when you have a bunch of animals, newborn, from that year, you take the animals and you put them in a pen and you let them out. You count 10. The 10th one gets a red dot. Now what about an animal that was born a year before? You can't put it in the same pen. It's different. Do I have to show the whole thing, or you guys know what it is already?
Yes, all the way to number 10. What does he do? Remember? He gave a red dot, and that becomes...
Fine. So how do you know that the goat, it's also to cook a goat with its older sister from a different year? I'll give a Kal V'chomer from his mother. A mother it's possible that a mother and her son are going to be in the same year of Meiser because she was born the same year as her own son. They were both born in 2026. You hear this? Mother and son. So born in 2026 or Tafshin Pei Vav. What year are we in? Pei Vav. They're both born in Pei Vav, so they both go. You take Meiser from both of them. But his older sister, we're talking about Dafkin Olsen, not the younger sister. If the mother's milk is also certainly the sister who can't even be nicer with him. Okay, so we have a great Kavachaymer to tell us what? That a sister's milk is also with the goat. And then the Gemara says, I have a pasuk. But lovely Kra, why don't you need a pasuk? Actually, you just said a Kavachaymer. In the beginning of the Kavachaymer, you're already off. You bring me right from the mother. There's a problem, like you said before. The older sister, which is not in the same year of Meiser, you're allowed to shecht a sister and a brother in the same day. And that's why we need a pasuk. Says Gemara, how do you know a sister that was born in the same year as him, you're not allowed to use her milk? We're going to learn from a combination. Let's learn from the mother. And therefore the younger sister. Younger sister is not also to shech the same day. We already established that our older sister is also to use her milk and shech to it. But older sister is not in the same year of Meiser. The younger sister is. Maybe you can't learn a younger sister from older sister. A mother will prove it. But you said a mother's a problem because there's a problem of Oisid is Benai. Okay, the older sister will prove it. And we go around in a circle. I believe we have a chart here, but it might be more confusing than that. Let's learn from Imai. Chalev Imai all the way to the right top. I'm going to learn, but Imai you can't shech the same day. So Chayzik Tana isn't saying that. Chayzik Darla. Okay, so go around in a circle. The chazarah did Lori Zikrizeh. Each one has a plus and a minus. Lori Zikrizeh. Hasad Hashem, but there's a common denominator. Shehu Basav Asal Vashim. All three of them should be also to cook the meat in milk. So too, I'll bring the younger sister. In other words, the sister of this goat that was born in the same year. Asal Vashim you should be also it's Basa. You're not allowed to cook it in milk. Ask Gemara, so I just threw it in here. We could follow these steps if you want. From a mother. Mother's also to cook with her son, even though you take Meister in the same year. So therefore, Achoisa Hagdoila should also be also. So no. Mother, you can't bring it right from a mother because mother is a story voice of his benoy is second in the purple. So no, I'll bring a raya from a para that is mutter to shech together with the goat. Yeah, but a para is also in our bar meiser. So then we'll bring a raya from your mother, and then we go around in a big circle. And bekitzer, why do I need a pasuk for the older sister? So you don't need a pasuk. I can learn it from these things. You go around in a circle. At least why do you need a pasuk? But they can say you have another thing to learn from it. How do I know that you're not? Listen to this. How do you know that you're not allowed to shecht a cow in its own milk? The Torah says you're not allowed to shecht a cow with a goat with its mother's milk. How do you know itself with its own milk you're not allowed to cook? Yeah, can't cook. What I say? Chef, forget chef. So how do you know? Listen to this. How do you know that you're not allowed to cook? I call it chef, but you guys want to call it cook, so they call it cook. How do you know how to cook a goat in its own milk? You're allowed to shecht two fruits on the same day. In other words, a brother and a sister. 2 fruits in the same day. But you know, it's just the mother and her son on the same day. You're now going to cook the meat together with the meat of a son, together with the milk of the mother. So that's two fruit. The milk is a fruit and the son is a fruit. And in addition, that's a prima and bebishal. Certainly, the mother herself with the fruit is you're not allowed to. So once again, a third time we have the same thing. We have a great kavachayim that teaches that a mother and her own milk is also to cook. And then the Gemara brings a pasuk, halam alikra, asila, or chalavim shmedikal meimar suspen susio achei prida yechiach. Geshmak moed. Listen to this. Not kidding. What's worse? What's closer in relationship? A son and a mother, or a son and a sister? What's closer?
Son and mother.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Genetically, a son and a sister.
I don't know. Genetically, not genetically. Stop. What's the halacha? So check this out. If you have a horse and a horse got married and they had a horse son, but that mother horsa Susya married a donkey. What happened? What did they have together? A mule. Is the son allowed to marry the mule? No. Also, two different species. But the son is allowed to marry his mother in this case. Yeah, horse and his mother are allowed to get married. There's no issue. So what do you see? The brother and the sister are also, but the brother and the mother are mutter. So maybe the Gemara wants to say, Sha'asu pri and pri, the 2 offsprings are also together. Mutter pri, so Mela, maybe the milk, which is like the horse son, is mutter to cook with the mother. The milk is a pri. It's a fruit of the mother. So maybe you should be able to cook the fruit with the mother, because over here in this case, you're allowed to marry off the shotgun, the firm shotgun that has 2 horses, you're allowed to marry off the son horse with the mother horse. Yeah. You don't like the susha. Okay. Says Gemara, what's the obvious answer, Rabbi? What's the obvious answer? Huh? What's the obvious answer? That the reason why the brother and sister are not allowed to get married has nothing to do with the fact that they're brother and sister. It's the fact that they have a different father. The father messed the whole thing up. And I'll prove it to you. Because if you have a horse brother and a horse sister, they are allowed to get married. Oh. What if you have 2? If these are the brother and sister? You have 2 mules that are brother and sister. In that situation, they wouldn't allow to get married. In that case, guess what? It's the reverse. Eitan G.
Yeah.
You can calm down for a second. Over here, the son cannot marry his mother. Why? Why can't he marry his own mother? Because they're 2 different species. It's funny. She gave birth to him, but he's a different species than his own mother, so you can't breed them.
Yeah.
Let's just finish this and then we're done for today. We'll prove it, the same idea, but we'll prove it from slaves. Then what? Oh. We have a mother who is a slave, and we have a son who's a slave, and we have a sister who was released. She used to be a slave, but she's released. So, who can marry you in this case? Rabbi Isai? The Eved can marry his mother. This is super weird. The Eved can marry his mother, but he cannot marry his sister. Why can't he marry his sister? Because she's a full-fledged Jew. She's released. Says Gemara, don't bring a raya from here. I might have skipped some words over there, but the sus, no? Okay. Says Gemara, it's not a relationship thing. It's the fact that she was released. And I'll prove it to you. What about when the mother was released, but the sister wasn't released? So then it's reversed. Then a brother can marry the sister's slave, but he cannot marry his own mother because she's already released. Elo, wow, we're running late. Let's just get 6 more lines. You're not allowed to plant 2 different species of seeds in the ground. Shasa pre and pre, you're not allowed to put 2 different types of seeds in the ground. But you're allowed to take 1 seed and put it with his mother. Who's the mother in this case? The ground. He was born from the ground, so his mother's the ground. Wait a minute. Even the 2 seeds together are not also only if you have the mother involved. In other words, if you have the ground involved. If you take 2 seeds and you put them in a jar, in a glass cup, nothing happened. You're not over anything. It's when you put it in the ground, and the ground is the mother. So you have two fruit with the mother. In other words, you have the meat and the milk. It's 2 separate entities. But the milk with its own mother, it's like one entity. That's why I need a pasuk. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful week. Yeshua becoming Agutava.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.